All right, let's talk about a movie. It's almost 100 years old, but I guarantee you its roar still echoes in pretty much every single blockbuster you watch today. We are, of course, talking about the one, the only, King Kong from 1933.
I mean, think about that for a second. The most tragic love story ever, and it's about a 50-foot ape. It sounds kind of crazy, right? But that is the absolute beating heart of this film. It's a story that's designed to get your pulse pounding with adventure 1 minute and then just completely break your heart the next.
So yeah, cinema's first giant. Before we even had a word for blockbuster, there was King Kong. And you gotta understand, this isn't just some old monster movie. No, this thing is like foundational. It is literally in the DNA of modern filmmaking. This was the movie that looked at the world and showed everyone what cinema could actually dream of being.
And that's really why it's stuck around for so long, you know? It's a technical miracle, a massive adventure, but also this really poignant fable. It just works on so many levels. You've got this thrilling, edge-of-your-seat ride, and at the same time, it's a surprisingly deep story about beauty, brutality, and so much more.
Okay, let's dive into the myth of Skull Island. The story itself, well, on the surface, it seems pretty straightforward. But don't let that fool you. The scope here is just epic, it's mythic. And it all kicks off not with a giant roar, but with a quiet desperation on the streets of Depression-era New York.
And the whole thing is really set in motion by our main players. You've got Denham, he's the showman, right? The filmmaker who is so ambitious he'll risk literally anything for the shot. Then there's Darrow, our beauty, who's just trying to survive and get swept up in this promise of adventure. And of course, Jack Driscoll, the hero, the first mate who falls for Anne. Their drives, ambition, survival, love, are what light the fuse on this whole tragic journey.
The way the story unfolds is like a classic three-act tragedy. First, you have the setup in New York. Denham finds Anne, they set off on this mysterious voyage. That's Act 1. Then, bam, we hit Skull Island. Anne is given to Kong, and suddenly he's her protector against all these prehistoric monsters. That's Act 2. And finally, the tragic third act. They capture Kong, drag him back to New York as the eighth wonder of the world. And well, it all goes horribly wrong.
And this is such a crucial point. On the island, Kong isn't just some mindless beast. He's way more than that. He becomes Anne's protector. When he's fighting that T-Rex, he's not just rampaging, he's fighting for her. And that's the moment where you, as the audience, start to see him differently. He stops being just a monster and starts becoming a character you can actually root for.
So how in the world did they pull this off back in 1933? I mean, really, this is where we get into the pure magic of it all. The incredible wizardry that brought this beast to life, one tiny, painstaking frame at a time.
The secret sauce was an art form called stop-motion animation. And just try to wrap your head around this process. Step 1, pose the model. Step 2, take a single picture. Step 3, move the model just a tiny bit. Step 4, repeat. You have to do that 24 times just to get 1 second of film. 1 second. That's almost 1,500 individual adjustments and photos for a single minute of Kong on screen. The amount of patience and artistry, it's just mind-blowing.
And here is the absolute craziest part. This towering, city-destroying, 50-foot monster was actually just 18 inches tall. 18 inches! He was a little puppet, with a metal skeleton, rubber muscles, and wrapped in rabbit fur. The sheer scale of the illusion they pulled off it's just unbelievable.
But it wasn't just stop motion. They threw the entire toolkit of illusion at this thing. They used rear projection to put the live actors in the same shot as the puppet. Basically, they'd film the actors reacting to a giant screen behind them that was playing the monster footage. So clever. The incredible foggy world of Skull Island, a lot of that was just gorgeous paintings on glass, called matte paintings. And the music? Oh man, the score by Steiner was a complete game changer. It was one of the first films to give characters their own musical themes, telling you exactly how to feel moment to moment.
Okay, but all that technical magic, that's really only half the story. The real reason this film has lasted, the reason we still talk about it, is because Kong is so much more than just a monster. This movie has layers, and what it's saying is still incredibly relevant today.
At its very heart, this is a story about a clash of worlds. On one side, you have Kong. He represents the natural world, primordial, raw, emotional, completely untamed. And on the other side, you have New York City, the modern world. It's all about ambition, machines, and this desire to own and sell everything. And you know what? It turns out to be just as brutal, if not more so. And the movie explores all these timeless themes so brilliantly. Think about it. It's Beauty and the Beast, but totally inverted. Here, beauty is what actually gets the beast killed. And get this, the film is also super self-aware. It's critiquing our own hunger for bigger and bigger spectacle, the audiences. And of course, it's a huge warning about what happens when we try to conquer and commodify nature.
And this is something we really have to remember. Kong's final rampage in New York, it is not mindless destruction, not at all. He's a lost, terrified animal in a world he doesn't understand, and he is desperately searching for the one and only thing he has a connection with, Anne. It's not about malice, it's about fear, and, well, love.
And all of that pain, all of that tragedy, it all comes down to that one single iconic line. It wasn't the airplanes, it was beauty killed the beast. Wow, that just reframes everything, doesn't it? The real weapon wasn't the machine guns on the planes, it was the very thing that made this powerful creature vulnerable in the first place.
So, we have to ask why? Why almost 100 years later are we still obsessed with this 18-inch puppet covered in rabbit fur? The answer is simple. Its legacy is, well, it's gigantic.
Look, if you take one thing away from this whole explainer, let it be this. King Kong gave cinema the blueprint for the modern spectacle. It proved, for the very first time, that you could have this massive, jaw-dropping action and pair it with a real, beating heart. It's a formula that countless blockbusters are still trying to get right today.
Because in the end, the greatest special effect in King Kong isn't the stop motion, it's not the miniatures, it's not any of that. It's emotion. That is the real magic. That's the thing that makes us believe in an 18-inch puppet and actually feel for it, and genuinely mourn its fall from the tallest building in the world.
So the next time you're watching a movie and some giant monster shows up on screen, just ask yourself this one question. Did it start with a roar, or did it start with a heartbeat? Because that's the legacy Kong left for all of them. He taught us that the greatest monsters have a heart,